You're great.
I am.
The supervision of the selection. It's a duty I never thought I'd have to perform.
Pense à ta copine. Steph.
Hello and welcome to our weekly film show here on Arts 24, where critic Emma Jones is taking us through the latest releases. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Well, we're starting with a highly anticipated film, twice delayed, once by the COVID-19 pandemic and then by last year's actors' strike. Wicked is John M. Chu's adaptation of the hit musical. It stars Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, respectively, as the Wicked Witch of the West and the Good Witch Glinda. Now, they certainly sound familiar.
Yeah.
This is just part one of the film. The fans will have to wait another year for part two to arrive. So, Emma, is this all as magical as it seems?
Well, it certainly did enchant me, I have to say, although it has had a bit of a mixed reaction from international critics, surprisingly. And I think one of their particular gripes is this film is incredibly long for part one at 2 hours, 40 minutes. Now, what I think about that is very much I feel like the last Harry Potter movie also split into two. Really, Wicked is a production unashamedly aimed at its fans, not critics. And if you think, of course, that it's been a Broadway and a London West End show since 2003, still going strong, there are plenty of them, really, I'd say. So I think that really every character, every plot line is really fleshed out to justify this two-parter. I have to say, though, Cynthia Erivo as the green-skinned, misunderstood Elphaba, and then you've got Ariana Grande as the very legally blonde, pink Glinda, and Ariana Grande, man, she can hit those high notes. This movie does soar.
OK, well, let's take a look at Wicked and hear from Ariana Grande on all the love they're getting from the fans.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz summons you to the Emerald City. Come with me.
What?
To meet the wizard.
I couldn't possibly. This is your moment. I'm coming.
The great and terrible.
We worked so hard.
That's
and
right.
we cared so much about it. And we are those Wicked fans who have been waiting for this for 21 years. We just so happen to be lucky enough to have been chosen to be a part of it. And we know what a big responsibility that is. And, we worked really hard to take care of it. So when they meet us with that love and when they do show us so much positivity, it's just really, there are no words. We're so grateful.
Plenty of fantasy in the decor there. Now, Wicked is loosely based on a 1995 novel by Gregory Maguire, so 30 years ago, but it seems to have quite modern themes. Much of the issues about the other there seem quite relevant today.
Yeah, I think this film, as a modern-day film, really focuses on those who are different, including Elphaba. And as part of that plot, actually, actor Peter Dinklage it puts his voice to good use as a talking goat, which does bring me on to critiquing the supporting cast. And Michelle Yeoh, she puts aside any possible lack of singing ability by really channeling her inner Dame Maggie Smith as a very regal Madame Morib. Jeff Goldblum is very much himself as the wizard. And then you have Bridgerton's Jonathan Bailey really stealing a lot of scenes as Prince Fiero. I love the production design by Nathan Crawley's team, and I think he's really created Oz for a whole new generation of fans. There's also lots of little touches of the original Wizard of Oz and tributes to the Broadway show in there too.
So since both this and Gladiator 2 were released at the same time in North America, is this so-called Glicked double bill working for the box office?
Well, fair play to them for trying to recreate that Barbenheimer hype. I'm not sure either film could quite surpass that total Barbenheimer tally, which was $2+ billion.
Huge, yeah.
And there doesn't seem to be that much crossover of fans wanting the double bill. Both are doing really well, but I think of the two, it's clear from the record-breaking box office so far, Wicked seems to be the winner. It has fans who will want to see it multiple times.
Oh, wow. OK. Well, on to another film tipped for the coming awards season. This is Conclave by Germany's Edward Berger, starring Ralph Fiennes, Stanley Tucci and Isabella Rossellini. It's based on British author Robert Harris's novel, which gives us a peek at the skullduggery and ambition at the heart of the Vatican when a new pope needs to be chosen. Let's take a look at the film.
You look anxious.
Everything under control.
How has this been kept a secret for so long?
We'll never find a candidate who doesn't have any kind of black mark against them.
Although we sisters are supposed to be invisible, God has nevertheless given us eyes and ears.
You should be careful, Thomas.
This is a conclave, Aldo. It's not a war.
It is a war, and you have to commit to a side.
It does look so stylish. Emma, I know you love this one. Tell us why.
Yes, absolutely. I think this is probably the best thriller of the year for me in the English language. It's a blockbuster with all the sensibilities of an art house movie, and that is due to Edward Berger's direction. He is the man who gave us previously All Quiet on the Western Front. Peter Strawn, who wrote 2011's Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, has written a really thrilling script, and I think it gives that actor's actor, Ralph Fiennes, possibly his most satisfying role since the Grand Hotel Budapest, which was quite some time ago. Now, as you see in these pictures, you know, he plays Cardinal Lawrence, who's really doing his best to choose a new pope wisely. But it's clear that not everyone in the Vatican is invested in finding the right man for the job.
OK, well, let's hear from the leading man himself, talking about what he believes the heart of this film is about.
I think the film is saying who is the right person to lead the Catholic Church, who has the right integrity and spiritual depth and wisdom and vision to lead. And that's the question, I think, for any leadership contest.
You mentioned there, Olivia, visually stylish as well, and that is the other aspect of the film. Not only fantastic performances, including by Isabella Rossellini, really watch out for her, but it is such a visually stylish film, and that is, of course, down to Berger and also his DOP, Stéphane Fontaine, who also did Jacques Audiard's A Prophet.
Ah, OK.
Yeah, they make such good use of the colour red in particular, and it really emphasises the suffocation and the claustrophobia of the conclave process.
OK, well, I'll definitely catch that one. Well, now to a French film that's an adaptation of a very successful book here, Leurs enfants après eux, or Their Children After Them, by Nicolas Mathieu. This won the very prestigious Goncourt Prize. This is a coming-of-age story set in the 1990s in northeastern France, directed by French twin brothers, Ludovic and Zoran Boukherma. Emma, how did you find this one?
Yes, well, actually, I saw this a couple of months ago at the Venice Film Festival, where actor Paul Kircher, he is the young star who plays the leading role of Antony. He actually won the festival prize for most promising newcomer. So certainly it was a hit at Venice with we critics. And the story is of how a teenage Antony, trying to impress a girl, steals his father's motorbike in order to go and meet her, and then that bike is in turn stolen by another rebellious teenager, Hassine, played very well too by Saeed El Alami. Now this sets off a calamitous chain of events which will follow Antony and Hassine right into adulthood.
OK, well, let's see a bit of Their Children After Them and hear from the Boukherma brothers about why they thought such a well-known novel would translate well to the screen.
Quoi?
Ils me cherchent.
Qui ça?
Les mecs du centre.
Pourquoi ils vous cherchent?
Le canoë, on l'a piqué.
Mais non.
I think it echoed so much with our own adolescence and our childhood. Yeah, it was so. I mean, it was just an opportunity we couldn't miss because it was. I don't know. It's not our story from the beginning, but yet it's probably the one that's the most personal, I guess, in the end.
Yeah, and the book also is extremely cinematographic in the way it's written.
Yeah.
It's extremely visual. So while reading it, we could see images from a film. You could tell that Nicolas Mathieu is a movie lover.
Well, the way they put it, it does seem like a no-brainer for an adaptation. But another very long film, 2.5 hours long, as it follows those two over 4 summers during the 1990s. Do you think it's worth the commitment?
Well, yes, for me, apart from the irresistibility of a coming-of-age story, I did commit when I saw it just because of those performances, which are really strong. And I should actually mention Ludovine Sagnier, who plays Anthony's mum, and also Gilles Lelouch, who plays his father and is also a producer on the film. I think 2.5 hours, it tells that long to tell the story from the novel, but also it takes that amount of time, really, to travel precisely nowhere. And that is the sad thing about this story, because even as these boys leave the ferocity of their youth behind, everything changes for them, yet nothing changes for them. And I think that's what the film is suggesting, that for guys like this, from a community like this, often nothing changes. So the film is tinged with melancholy.
Sounds very faithful to the book. Well, finally, we're looking at Crossing, or Istanbul Crossing, as it's known in France, by Swedish-Georgian director Levan Akin. He had a lot of success with LGBTQ+ story in 2019, which was set in Georgia. That was called And Then We Danced. Emma, you're urging us to go and see this one. Tell us why.
Yeah, it's a real gem of an independent film. Do see it if you can. And that is really down to the wonderful performances. So an amazing Georgian actress called Mazaya Arabuli plays Leah. She's an elderly Georgian lady, and she's going in search of her missing niece, Tekla, a trans woman who's now in Istanbul. And she's gone to Istanbul because sadly her village isn't really a safe place for her. Now, Leah is aided in her search by a young man, Achi, played wonderfully by newcomer Lucas Conclave. And really, it's all about the pairing of this odd couple and their chemistry. Istanbul and its trans community is also brought richly to life.
OK, sounds like an interesting, bittersweet sort of intergenerational piece there. Emma, thank you so much for the roundup this week. We'll leave you with a glimpse of Crossing. Do remember to check in next time for more movie news here on Arts 24. There's more news coming up just after this.
Ben Tetpodi რომ გავწირეთ მე და დედამისმა Tetpodi ძალიან მიყვარს შეიძლება სტამბულის ქალაქია სადაც ხალხი ჩამოდის და ჩინერდება